Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Grab your tea, your coffee, or maybe just a glass of water.
Literally could break down and cry how awful that experience was.
She didn't even say hi.
She didn't even.
Because today, we are definitely skipping the gumbo. I am absolutely speechless at the mess that is unfolding in the Knowles family universe right now. And guys, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill celebrity gossip. This is deep-rooted, decades-in-the-making family tension playing out over a food stall. Yes, you heard me right. We need to talk about Mathew Knowles and Mama Tina. I honestly never thought I'd see the day where the parents of the biggest pop star on the planet, a literal billionaire, would be publicly trading subliminal shots over a temporary health department shutdown and a pot of seafood stew. But here we are in 2026, and the internet is completely ablaze. From allegations of Mama Tina poisoning her customers with unregulated rodeo food, to Mathew Knowles moving incredibly weird in a recently leaked interview where he seemingly tries to erase Tina's entire contribution to the success of Destiny's Child, this situation has layers upon layers. Is Mathew using Mama Tina's current public relations nightmare to elevate his own legacy? Is Tina doing too much and acting like an attention seeker instead of letting her superstar daughter hold the spotlight? We are going to break down the health department reports, the swollen eyes, the leaked Candace Gibson interview,
thawed seafood labeled keep frozen, and gumbo that inspectors say was stored in a freezer at an
and the intense social media debate about the most famous mother in the music industry. Let's get into it. Alright, let's rewind to where this all started. For a bit of context, y'all know Mama Tina has been talking about her famous cooking for years. Fans are always in her comments begging for recipes, and her holiday spreads look legendary. So, back in February, Mama Tina made a huge announcement. She revealed that due to overwhelming demand, she was finally going to bless the public with her culinary skills. She announced the debut of Miss Tina's Gumbo at the 2026 Houston Rodeo. On paper, this sounds like an amazing, culturally resonant idea. Houston is her stomping grounds, the rodeo is a massive event, and a Knowles family food stand sounds like a guaranteed goldmine. Mama Tina rolled out two distinct options for the fans, a loaded seafood version featuring beef sausage, chicken, shrimp, and blue crab, and a more traditional chicken and sausage option for those with seafood allergies.
Every year, the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo introduces new foods to tantalize our taste buds. This year,
when the stand first opened, it was absolute pandemonium. We are talking lines wrapping around the venue, with fans happily emptying their wallets, paying nearly $30 for a single bowl of gumbo. In the beginning, the PR was flawless. Early TikTok clips and Instagram reels showed customers grooving to music, eating the gumbo, and swearing up and down that it was the best thing they had ever tasted. Mama Tina was out there mingling, doing press, and proudly claiming that her secret was letting the gumbo simmer for 16 to 18 hours. She was living her best life, cashing in on her famous name, and giving the beehive a taste of Houston. But honey, the honeymoon phase did not last long at all. You see, the internet is an unpredictable place, and once the hype died down, the actual food critics, and more importantly, the gatekeepers of Louisiana and Texas cuisine, entered the chat. Suddenly, the narrative shifted from "this is amazing" to "wait a minute, what is in this bowl?" While the die-hard fans were giving it solid 10s, more objective reviewers started rating it a modest 5 out of 10. Then, the New Orleans natives saw what was happening and absolutely went to town on Mama Tina. Food bloggers pointed out that a true seafood gumbo absolutely does not need to simmer for 16 to 18 hours.
okay, Mama Tina, it's good, it's good.
I can't wait to try it.
So I'm so excited for Mama's.
Culinary experts were stitching her videos, pointing out that boiling seafood for that long will not only turn the shrimp to rubber, but it will completely evaporate the base, or worse, mask the taste of meat that is past its prime. People started saying the gumbo tasted incredibly heavy, more like a generic beef soup than an authentic, roux-based gumbo. And the absolute ultimate sin? Customers complained that the gumbo was being served with crackers. Yes, saltine crackers. In the South, serving gumbo with crackers instead of a proper scoop of rice or potato salad is treated like a culinary crime, and the locals let her have it. But it wasn't just constructive criticism, the shade got deeply personal and incredibly funny. The comments sections on these reviews were ruthless. People were calling the dish nasty, and comparing its murky appearance to swamp water. Some commenters even took it a step further, joking that Miss Tina was a witch brewing potions, accusing her of casting a spell and putting hoodoo voodoo in the pot to trick people into paying $30 for it. The internet was undefeated, but this was just the tip of the iceberg compared to what happened next. Before we even get to the food poisoning, we have to talk about the viral altercation that happened right in front of the stall. A video surfaced showing Mama Tina seemingly confronting a male customer who was live streaming near her gumbo stand. Now, the exchange was tense. Mama Tina was visibly frustrated, and the man was defending his right to film in a public space at the rodeo. This single interaction sparked a massive think piece debate across Twitter and TikTok. On one side, you had Mama Tina's loyal defenders saying, "Leave this woman alone, she is just trying to run her business, she deserves privacy," and people are harassing her for clout. But on the flip side, a very vocal group of people argued that when you set up a highly publicized, celebrity-branded stall in the middle of a massive public event like the Houston Rodeo, you forfeit a certain level of privacy. People argued she was just being salty because the negative reviews about her swamp water gumbo were starting to go viral. This escalated into a much broader, harsher conversation about Tina Knowles as a public figure. People started asking, why does Mama Tina need to be in the spotlight so badly? They called her out for being the most embarrassing, famous mother in Hollywood. Commenters began comparing her to the mothers of other megastars. You don't see Rihanna's mom out here fighting with live streamers over stew. You don't see Cardi B's mom inserting herself into the media cycle. The consensus among these critics was that Mama Tina needs to realize the public cares about her superstar daughter, not her, and that her constant need to be front and center is ridiculous and exhausting. And just when you thought the optics couldn't get any worse, the health department got involved. Enter a customer named Erica. Erica took to social media and posted a video that immediately went viral. In the video, Erica looked absolutely miserable. She had visibly swollen eyes, she was complaining of severe bubble guts, and she looked completely drained. Erica laid out her timeline very clearly for the internet.
My eyes are swollen, I'm f***ed up, extreme,
She stated that on the day she visited the rodeo, the only things she had consumed beforehand were a bottle of water and some Cheeto Puffs. The only major meal she ate was Miss Tina's gumbo. By process of elimination, Erica concluded that Mama Tina's food was the culprit behind her severe illness, and she didn't just complain online, she actually called the Houston Health Department. She later posted follow-up videos from a doctor's office, showing off a multiple lab test kit designed to identify the exact bacteria causing her food poisoning. She firmly blamed the $30 gumbo. Because of Erica's formal complaint, and allegedly several others, the Houston Health Department swooped in and issued a temporary closure of Mama Tina's booth. When the investigative report leaked, it wasn't just a minor citation. It was giving absolute, unregulated chaos. According to the report, the massive batches of gumbo were not being prepared at the approved, permitted restaurant location. Instead, they were being cooked at a completely random, unlicensed location. Secondly, the food was being transported and stored in unapproved containers. But the most alarming part? The inspectors noted that they could not verify proper cooling methods for the pre-cooked batches. Items that were strictly supposed to be kept frozen were found completely thawed out, which is a massive red flag and a primary cause of bacterial food poisoning. Yet, despite this horrific, glaring report, Mama Tina's stall was authorized to reopen after just 12 hours. The department claimed she was cooperative and passed a rapid subsequent inspection. But the internet was not having it. How do you go from storing thawed meat in unapproved containers from an unlicensed kitchen to perfectly compliant in half a day? People immediately started screaming privilege, wondering if a few phone calls from a billionaire's team magically made the health violations disappear. Now, if you thought Mama Tina fighting off food poisoning allegations and swamp water claims was enough drama for 1 week, let me introduce you to her ex-husband, Mathew Knowles. Anyone who follows the Knowles family dynamics knows there is always an underlying tension between Mathew and Tina. But over the last few weeks, the tension has escalated into a full-blown Cold War. It all started when an interview between Mathew and journalist Candace Gibson miraculously leaked online. In this discussion, Candace Gibson was trying to be highly complimentary.
Shaping their early image when major designers y'all were not dressed.
He was praising both Mathew and Tina for their joint efforts in building Destiny's Child into one of the most iconic, record-breaking girl groups in music history. Candace rightfully noted that while Mathew managed the business, Tina put in massive work behind the scenes to shape the girls. Instead of nodding and agreeing like a normal person, Mathew completely glitched. He took immediate issue with Candace's phrasing and bluntly fired back with, "What work did she put in? Y'all." The disrespect. When Candace, clearly taken aback, reminded Mathew of Tina's undeniable role in styling the group, designing their outfits, and shaping their entire visual identity, Mathew gave the most dismissive, reluctant agreement ever. He basically rolled his eyes and said, "Okay, you're absolutely right. And the styling, the imaging, you're right." The implication was crystal clear. Mathew Knowles was publicly trying to rewrite history to make it seem like Mama Tina was just a glorified tailor, while he was the sole mastermind behind the Destiny's Child empire. The energy in the room became incredibly awkward, And even though Candace tried to smooth it over by reiterating it was a joint effort, Mathew abruptly shut down and ended the interview. What makes this so incredibly shady is the historical context. Yes, Mathew was a ruthless and effective manager who broke down doors in the industry. But Mathew forgets that when he quit his lucrative corporate job to manage the girls full-time, the family was broke. Who kept the lights on? Mama Tina. She worked tirelessly at her hair salon to fund the dream. She was making their outfits out of literal scraps because high-end designers refused to dress for black, curvy girls from Houston. She was the glue, the maternal figure, and the creative director. Interestingly, if you watch the officially released version of this interview, this shady moment was completely edited out. It only surfaced as a leak a few days ago. Who leaked it? Why now? The timing is incredibly suspicious. Mama Tina is not one to take disrespect lying down, especially not regarding her legacy. When she saw that leaked clip of Mathew trying to downplay her hustle, she executed a masterclass in petty elegance. She didn't go on a Twitter rant. Instead, she quietly took to Instagram and reposted a glowing,